She's tricky, that Lauren.
Oh, she's meeting.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Do I have to click on it?
Yeah.
What does it say? Got it?
Yeah.
I'm having an eye appointment next week.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We are interviewing the Super Cell Bowl 2022 winners today, the champions. This is the University of Connecticut Medical Laboratory Science program, and their amazing program director in the back there, Dr. Blanchard. So we are very happy to have you on today. Hopefully we will get some great questions in the chat. Does anybody want to introduce themselves or say hello to the global Medical Lab Lady Gill audience? Say hi. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're just going to talk about how the event went for you all, what you feel happened through the event, and anything that you would like to talk about. So this is absolutely about you and your journey through this whole entire event. So this was your first time in the Cell Bowl, wasn't it, this year? So whose idea was it? Was it your program director? Was it you all? Who decided you wanted to join this year?
Jerry.
All right.
So Jerry is our TA in our lab. He's our grad assistant, and he was going through the ASCP website last fall, and it was right after the Cell Bowl had ended. And he said, "Oh, this sounds really, really cool. We should do it next year." And I guess he kind of sent it as a joke. But when I got it in the other professor in the program got it, we were like, "Oh, we're still doing that. 100% we're doing that." The other professor is a Division I athlete at UConn. She was a former Division I athlete at UConn, so she's super competitive. She's running a little late this morning, but she's gonna probably pop in eventually. But yeah, so she's like, "Oh yeah, we're still doing that Cell Bowl," and so the whole goal was to try to get these guys to buy into it since the beginning of class, and we did some incentives for them to start using the app. As far as the first lab practical I gave them was a score that they got on the app, and they could practice as many times as they want to, and then submit their score that they got. And all students did very, very well. Most students got perfect scores.
Wow.
Everybody.
First time?
No. So I let them practice before, and then they went ahead and submitted their score.
That's still great, though. I mean,
yeah.
I can't imagine that you did a whole lot of, well, maybe you did do a whole lot of practices, but that's really great.
So the first weeks, because it was normally I used to give a cell image quiz that in the first weeks of hematology, just so they understand the normals. But of course on Cellavision, they get a lot of things that we hadn't covered yet. So they were kind of learning on the fly with some of those things. So it took a lot of practice for them to get the scores that they wanted, because they had to identify cells that we hadn't even gone over yet.
Wow, that's incredible. And you all did perfectly. And I'm looking at the event itself. Week 1 out of the gate blew last year out of the water. So what was with that? I was looking at your score from the very beginning, like, this is insane. Where have these people been this whole time? So did we pass around the MVP torch every week, or did we? Okay. So I do know your name, but I don't want to say your name unless you don't want to. But that's very incredible. So you have a lot of team support I can see behind you. And this is all about the team, right? our team had the MVP be passed around between like 3 people. So who were your partners in crime? Did you have somebody else who was coming right after you? Oh yeah, so we had an internal competition here, I see. How how close were you?
The lowest I got was 29.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really looking up to Lakshmi. I was like, wow, you're amazing.
I agree.
So
We all
Tiffany,
agree, actually.
Tiffany, we started hematology in August.
Okay.
And our program does 1 class at a time. And so we were done hematology by the time the competition started. So my concern was they were going to forget everything. But they really came back strong during the competition. And yeah, so they did. They kept pushing. They kept getting lower and lower scores. And before we decided to participate in the competition, based on last year's times, I said, you guys have some really, really competitive times, and you're likely going to do well in the competition if the times are consistent. Of course, this year the times were a lot better, so they really had to push themselves to get to those scores that they obtained. So
yeah, even when you all were not first place, which was only 2 times, even when you weren't first in the nation, you were doing some crazy quick times. So I haven't practiced in a while. I honestly don't think I can ever get to that quick of time. That's incredible. We are all in awe of all of you. Even the young lady in the middle who was putting pressure on your MVP, even that time is incredible. So let me read your times for anybody that doesn't remember what these times were. Let's be in awe of you for a minute. So week 1, you were first in the nation with 27.12 seconds out the gate. And this is your first time ever being in the event. And I saw that and I'm like, holy cow. I don't know how this is going to go, but I feel like I'm going to put a challenge down again for another backpack. Did you get your backpack yet?
No, I didn't.
It's on the way, just to let you know. I let your professor know that it is on the way. So the ordering and the mailing process has been a little behind because we're getting close to and starting the holiday season. So it's on the way. Look out. If you are on social media, post some, amazing pics with your swag, your prize. That's like a wearable trophy for you. Okay, so first in the nation, week 1 with 27.12 seconds. Then you were 6th in the nation in week 2 with 27.37 seconds. Now, I looked at that and I could not believe that puts you in 6th place because that's an insane time also. I know Dr. Blanchard was practicing because we did a little bit of a faculty face-off. And did you happen to get past 28 seconds by any chance? Me either. You don't have to share your time if you don't want to. It was still good.
It's not even close to what they were getting. I got a 51.
Yeah, I thought you got a 50 point something.
No, maybe somewhere around 50. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job. He did better than mine. And we were passing it around. I was trying to get to have one of our pathologists come on and to try to do pathologist against bench tech, maybe specialist in hematology. That didn't come to fruition again this year, but I'm going to keep on pushing it in there. So with that event that we did the finale, I called some people out on Twitter. One of them actually jumped in during the filming. And that was a surprise. And she's like, what's going on? So that was a good time. That was a really good time. If you haven't watched it yet, take take a minute and watch it. Well, it's not a minute, but take a little bit and watch it. So in week 3, you were 3rd in the nation with an even better time, which was 25.05 seconds. All right. I hope you're smiling bigger because this just gets better and better. Then week 4, you were 1st in the nation again with 22.18 seconds. And I think I started to put the gauntlet down of, okay, if you break 20 seconds, I'll send you a backpack. So if you haven't been watching the episodes, I was calling you out on global television. If you can beat it, you'll get a backpack. So then you, in week 5, were number 1 in the nation again with 21.31 seconds. All right. So in week 5, 21.31, this was where it was starting to get to the point where we thought you were inhuman. So I think that you have some robots in your class. You might want to check that out. So the challenger, the MVP challenger, do you know what your week 5 was? The week 5 challenger, the lady who was in the middle there?
I don't know.
No? She didn't move. Everybody else was like, no. And she's like, are you talking to me? Okay, well, I'm sure it was super duper close, but that's just craziness. And then in week 6, when you're in the semifinals, you had a 21.22 seconds. And I was on the edge of my seat wondering, were we going to break that 20 seconds? All right. So let's see the team challenger that you had. So the Storm from Southeast Community College in Nebraska, the only times that you dropped it, they were picking up some of those touchdowns, as well as some other programs. So you only dropped the ball twice during the whole event. And last year we had Utah and West Virginia duking it out. So this year you were duking it out with a bit of a group. It wasn't just one other challenger, but they were so close. So when you all were 6th in the nation in week 2, the Storm was 1st in the nation with a 25.45. So they hit from a 37.51 in week 1 all the way down to a 25.45. And you all were so evenly matched throughout. Their West Virginia last year's, oh, here's a guest. Hello. Oh, his audios are coming on. So last year's winners were this close to getting you in one of those weeks, and it was really, really tight. That, hey, are you driving to work? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Please don't crash.
Hi guys. No, I'm getting ready to go to Chicago tomorrow, so I took the day off. So I get to decorate Christmas lights, but I did, yeah, and buy a tree and all that fun stuff. But no Med Lab Lady Gill stuff on the house yet. So.
Oh. So team, say hello to my co-host, Mr. Aaron Odegaard.
Hi.
Hi guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That time was insane. My students were freaking out. They didn't know how you guys did it. So that's pretty awesome.
Watching me do it is incredible. It's insane.
Yeah.
You should just watch her type in general. She's not good.
Wow. So I did request that in the episodes too. I would love to have a video of you actually playing. You don't have to have your best score. I just have to see how your hands are moving that fast. I don't know. I'm super.
do two hands.
It's a technique.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you pull out your cell phone? Let's see it. I want to see it. You don't have to have your best time.
Okay, wait, put her on the spot, man.
I have to see this. This is insane.
I used to do it on my iPad for a while, but then I got slower, so then I did it on my phone because the pictures were smaller, so it was faster to click it.
Oh.
Halfway through, but
Less movement.
oh god, I'm nervous.
Doesn't
You
matter.
don't have to do amazing. I mean, anything you're going to do is incredible just looking at your times. I just want to see how you're doing it so I can up my game too.
Okay, she's focused. She's focused.
Okay, so for everyone watching, if you want to beat University of Connecticut next year, this is what you do. You have to put your device on the table and you have to rest your hands next to it and use both hands. Okay, that was my problem. You saw me in the final episode. I was going like this.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all of our problems. Is that what you were doing, Karen?
Yeah, I think that was my problem too. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a lean laboratory over here. This is a lean technique. You got to reduce all waste of movement and everything. Do you breathe?
Well, now she's breathing.
It's only 60 seconds. It's not required.
Okay. Because I was going to
Good point.
say, have you passed out playing yet?
No, thank God.
So note to self, also breathe. Don't forget to breathe.
Okay. I got that part down. I just gotta work on the cells.
He even had the diff counter. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He was doing a little bit of that, trying to figure things out. You know, microbiologists, they need as much help as they can get with hematology, right, Aaron?
Yeah, just a little bit. We got more about just making sure they got the neutrophils in the gram stain. Yeah, so. But I'm slowly getting better. But yeah, my the whole management team for my hospital was pretty amazed about how quickly you guys were, like your scores and everything. But our manager I think she got a perfect score, but it was just barely a perfect score. So you guys are doing awesome. If you need a job in Jacksonville, we will gladly hire all of you guys.
And Lakshmi was injured during most of the competition.
What? Was it a finger injury? Did you pull a muscle?
No, it was my wrist. I have a cyst. So it was one of my wrists. So partially why I couldn't like hold my phone was because it would hurt. So I had to have the phone down and keep my wrist still.
She
Maybe
was,
wait,
she
maybe
had a handicap and she was still beating everyone.
Oh gosh. Great job.
So I'm just going to show you.
Yeah, see?
You need to get these.
Yeah. Well,
That's still not going to help me beat your time, but you know.
no, it apparently led to the winning technique though.
Yeah, so I'm going to practice now. You might see some tutorial videos on how to win Cell Bowl, and I'll have you in as a guest showing the perfect technique. All right, so she did break the 20-second barrier. It was like the sound barrier. She was going at the speed of light, and she made a 19.8 seconds time. Can we all cheer on? Yes, please. Amazing job. I can't even tell you how amazing that is. And yes, I think that any one of you, if you are serious about going into the lab after graduation, please put this on your resume. This is absolutely bragging rights. Anybody who knows anything about the lab is going to be like, whoa, these people are really incredible and already really amazing technicians or technologists and scientists at this point. So I'm trying to include everybody that was in the in the competition, all the teams. But so everyone that was in the competition, you should absolutely put this on your resume, but especially if you are on a winning team or a challenging team, please put it on there. It's a big deal. And we are going to amplify it as much as possible. So ASCP and I have a sponsorship agreement, and we are going for it until we decide we don't want to anymore. So come on back next year. Make sure that you bring any perfected technique. Get well, please get well.
Yeah, get well.
I'm sorry to hear about your injury. Cell bowl is a dangerous sport, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it happens, Coach Gill. People get injured.
They do. I got injured too. It was crazy. And it's probably because I was trying to bang my head on the wall to help me to do better. Nobody do that. Nobody do that.
Don't do that at home, no.
No, don't do that at all. That was supposed to be a joke. Any kids watching, don't ever hit your head, please. Okay, so now that we've gotten through the entire season, let's talk about how you feel this puts you basically on, whether you feel like it puts you on an institutional stage, a community stage, definitely was on a global stage, I'll tell you that right now. But how do you feel that your progress and your standings has helped create more visibility for your program in your institution and the community? Have you seen any difference? Do you feel there was a difference?
I mean, our program is already really incredible and is known for just being awesome. We have a crazy high pass rate on the registry exam, and we have a really great reputation in the hospitals at the state of Connecticut for just being really well trained. And so I think that we'll continue to have that reputation in Connecticut. Hopefully, it'll maybe recruit prospective students from other states, but yeah, we definitely have a program to be proud of, and this further supports it.
Did we get mentioned by the that paper that you sent to the department?
Yeah, so right now it's only been primarily our department that's been publicizing this, but now that they've actually won the championship, I'm sure it's going to go much greater announcements throughout the university, so that all the departments and the entire campus knows about it.
Okay, well, I want to let you know that every time I posted about it, I posted it with your institution's Twitter account and all of that as well, and on YouTube. So you all have been publicized by myself, by everyone on the ASCP social media committee, sorry. And we've been amplifying it. So you should see some, well, you should have a lot of swagger because we are promoting you like crazy. Okay, so very, very well done. Our goal with this event is also to just try to promote programs within the community and the profession to help others to know what the laboratory does and how to become a medical laboratory scientist or technologist or technician. So we're very excited and very proud that you all are already seeing these wonderful, this wonderful support even before you went into the event. So that's really exciting to hear. So well done. And that says a lot about your faculty too. So thank you, faculty, as well.
Yep. Great job.
Yeah, that's really hard to do, to be the program director and get a lot of marketing out there, especially if the lab isn't understood or, you know, traditionally there has been a preconceived notion or an idea that laboratorians don't like to talk. You know, and so if we're not talking about ourselves and not talking about the profession, not talking about how we help with healthcare, how critical we are to the healthcare team, then you know, we go unheard, we go unseen, right? So I am so proud that you all are already out there and being lab proud, telling everybody about the lab. So that's really great. And make sure you tell them how great you did too, because that's very important.
Yep.
All right, so here's the part that everybody wants to know. How we already figured out how you did so well. Okay, so we've got the checklist of how to do how to beat the 20 seconds, right? But now we would like to know, do you feel like this made it easier for you to identify cells? Do you feel like this enhanced your skills? You know, do you know special things to look for now as opposed to maybe when you were going through class before this? Any comments there?
Yeah, so at least in the beginning, it would, whatever it was asking, I would look for that picture and that was it, and I would ignore the other pictures. But at the end, I got better at identifying all the pictures and just being able to like pick which one it was asking for. So I recognized that difference where it wasn't just like, oh, it's random pictures and then, oh, the one I need to identify. It's, I know what they all are. I just have to click on the right one fast enough. So
Wow.
Yeah, there were the certain characteristics about certain cells, like knowing that, okay, when I see like a big nuclear to cytoplasm ratio, smaller cell, lymphocyte, like that. So it was picking up on those characteristics, and then towards the end, it was just how fast can I do it?
That's incredible. Great job.
Yeah, no, great job.
Like Dr. Blanchard said, in our program, we take one class at a time. So we have, for hematology with 6 weeks, we have 4-hour lecture in the morning, 3-hour lab in the afternoon every day.
Mhm.
And we did a couple dozen slides in lab, I'd say. Easy.
Way more
Like,
than that.
like,
Yeah.
Like 20 a week.
yeah, yeah. I'd say we did like 70, 80 plus slides.
But microscope.
On the microscope. So we were getting comfortable identifying in person, but I would also say that it was helpful to not only be studying lecture material, but also have that reference point to be able to prep for lab, to be able to do the image quiz on our phone. I found it personally very helpful.
In addition to that, there was a couple of us, like 1, 2, 3 of us that were out with COVID for a week during hematology.
The first week.
Yeah, she was the first week.
That makes it fun.
So that was actually how Dr. Blanchard was able to keep us going, and like for lab he gave us the television to look at and try to, so we didn't get too rusty, but it also wasn't a big giant project that we had to do while we were sitting around sick. So if we were feeling good, we could always just pull out our phone and do it then. So I would say it also did help from us falling behind when we were sick and kind of had to be off campus for a week. So.
Well, I'm glad you all are well now.
Also, it's a great alternative to like procrastinating with like social media. Procrastinating studying, we would use television instead. So we were procrastinating, but we were doing it well, and we were technically studying at the same time.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll do it in class. I mean, we were still learning in class, but it's different.
It was great to see the stuff that we were struggling on as well. Like, I could be like, okay, I am good with this lymphocyte. Now I need to focus on a blast, or like, you know, it was very good to see that pie chart. I think that was the most helpful part for me. And then I could click it. I could see, okay, these are the features. I should look for the characteristics, like what is a blast, what is a, you know, what macrophage, whatever, you know. So it was really nice.
The atlas was pretty helpful too.
Yeah.
It had a lot of information about each cell, so we could like transfer that information into studies and being able to use that as study materials.
It was really helpful because Dr. Blanchard gave us the information for the app even before we started class, so at the end of the summer. And so I got started on it then. And so even coming into class, I already had a background from this app. And so I could come in and ask him questions about our rods, hairy cells, way before we learned it. And so I felt like that was giving me an edge in lab, in class. So I really appreciated that supplement.
Yeah, and like I don't remember, Bruce, if you remember this, but I was playing television for a while, and there was a micro megakaryocyte that I got in television, but we hadn't done that in class yet. We were just covering normal cells, and we were in lab, and I was looking at the microscope, and I was like, I think this is a micro megakaryocyte. Like it looks like the one in television. So I called over Dr. Blanchard. I was like, is this what I think it is? And he's like, yeah, but how do you know that? We haven't covered it yet. And I was like, this is television.
That's so
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think it's really going to pay off when they get to the clinical lab, because many labs are now digital
Right.
with CellAvision, and we are primarily microscope trained here.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that, if that transition happens a lot faster, because they're much more comfortable looking at the digital images now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we do have, I do have contacts at CellAvision, and they've been not the gold sponsor, but one of our sponsors as well. And so they are, I'm sure, very excited to hear about all this wonderful news. They are adding more images to the bank. So last year, that was part of the feedback that we had from students was, you know, it was the same images over and over again. So they're going to continue to extend the bank. So maybe you might see some more stuff. There's some other exciting things coming down the pike as well. As I heard Dr. Blanchard say before you started, make sure that you go back, watch season 1 and season 2, even if you just skip to the tutorial part. There is a lot of great information about season 1 was normal maturation in healthy adults, and now this season was all abnormals. I was going to say this anyway in this episode to make sure everybody knows that, but go back, listen, watch, whatever you want to do. It will definitely help you with your ASCP, at least the hematology part of the exam. We also talked a lot about the profession itself and the kinds of ways that you can advance. So they're long for a reason. The reason they're so long is to make sure that we're getting all these questions that we hear from people who are either starting out or have been in it for a while and want to know how to advance, or if they are struggling with hematology. So we're putting all that information into one place for everybody's benefit to hopefully improve at least the hematology part of the exam. So I'm going to start tracking the ASCP hematology section to see how our scores go. And I'm going to ask all of the educators who have been participating as well. Let's take a look and keep on focusing in on how do our graduates do in the hematology section since we started the Cell Bowl. You know, we are working with all these different educational sources to try to help you all do better, but obviously it's a great ROI because the only thing that it can do is improve our healthcare, right? So we are so excited for you all to get out there and, you know, help these people so quickly. Oh my goodness, so quickly. Being able to just go through and doing all that work on those peripheral blood smears and automated results. That's just incredible. We're so proud of you. Aaron, do you have any questions for them?
I actually don't. You guys did an amazing job. Looked like you had a lot of great teamwork there. The episodes, the tutorials are pretty helpful. And this will help you when you do get to the lab and you are working with the CellAvision. That was some of the comments I got from 3 of the students on our team, that it helped them practice a little bit more. So when they were looking at the cells on the screen, they were able to kind of pick them out a little better. So you guys are doing great, and just keep going.
So I wanted to ask you all, did any of you get tripped up with the change of frame with the view, how zoomed in it was when you were doing the lymphocytes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yes, the lymphocytes and the thrombocytes. Oh my gosh.
Lymphocytes were meant.
Oh my God. That shouldn't happen.
So
Yeah,
remember
the
that.
large lymphocytes are always small.
Okay.
And on the frame, it's always like a 40x view of, or even lower. It might be even a 20x view of the large lymphocyte. Whereas if it's a 100x view, it's the small lymphocyte.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to tell everybody that, because it really does mess you up. And then if you mess up one time, it seems to take a lot more chunk of your time than if you wait and get the right one the first time. Did you all find that as well?
Yeah, it does a deduction.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to say anything to your team that is recorded and globally seen, of any props or anything that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very proud. They worked really, really hard. And again, like they were saying, it was in between their coursework, and we keep them pretty busy here, so they don't get into any trouble. So and so they were fitting this in initially. Like I said, I incentivized it with, they had to do this for a lab grade, and so they were practicing for that. But even after the lab grade went away, again, the competitive juices started to flow, and they started to really push themselves. And then when they saw that there was other teams in the country that were challenging as well, then they kind of took it to a new level. And
oh yeah.
So yeah, very, very proud. And again, we had a lot of participants. We had some people that well, we had no one that did as well as Lakshmi, but Ruth came close. We had some people that didn't get perfect scores, but they kept trying. They kept pushing through. It's fine. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, no, there isn't anything wrong with that. My team didn't get a perfect score at all. We were number 8 in the country last year, and we're not now. But but that's okay. I am still just as proud of them this year as I was last year. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and just because you're not perfect doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your skill. So, you all did a great job. Doesn't matter if you had a perfect score or not. We thank you so much for, even just participating is a big deal. That takes courage. It takes courage to be on the screen like what you're doing right now, because everybody's going to be seeing you and looking up to you, and looking to you to try to figure out, how can I do better? How can this benefit me? So you're doing a great job. No shame. None at all on any kind of score you got. If you're improving, that's the main point. So who is our most improved player on the team, would you say? You don't have to give scores, just who do you think?
It might even be Lakshmi too, because Lakshmi, what was your first one?
Oh my God, the first time I did it, I got a 13 out of 30.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember that because I hadn't practiced like everyone else before Hematology started. So I walked in, I got a 13 out of 30, and then everyone was like, "Oh, I got 25, 30." I was like, "Okay, that wasn't me." And then, so then I guess I just got really competitive with myself. So then my goal was to get 30 out of 30, and it was to get it in 55 seconds, at 50, and then 40. And then I wanted to get to 30 and then stop. I kept wanting to stop. I was literally seeing the cells in my dreams.
So Lakshmi, what did you say to me? What did you say to me after your 19.8?
Oh, I said I'm retired. Yeah. But yeah, I just kept getting really competitive. I was like, okay, let me just get to 30 and then I'll stop. Let me get to 25 and then stop. Okay, let me just, get to 22, 21, and then it just kept going. And then I was like, okay, I just want to get into the teens. So then once I hit 19, I was like, I need to stop.
Wow. Do you think you could hit 15?
Oof.
Yes, with a
I'll lend you
No more
one.
injuries. No more injuries.
I don't know about 50. I mean, if I had more time, maybe. But
Are you graduating?
I'm graduating.
Oh, because I was gonna say, come back next year. I'm ready to throw another. You might get another backpack or a yoga mat. A yoga mat so you can start relaxing.
Yeah, this is our senior class, so they're all gone.
Oh, okay. So are you taking the next class aside and saying, hey, you have to live up to our legacy now and give them some pointers?
Guys, you guys should probably do that.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on the juniors.
That's right. That's right.
Just a little bit. I think somebody wants to keep the trophy, like, hey, just a whole collection. Once you get one, you want all of them, right? So what would you say to future students who will be competing in this next year? Here's your chance. What's your platform?
It's you against you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Didn't hear it. What did you say?
It's you against you. So
There you go.
I think it's important to realize that just taking a second and finding the right answer is much better for your learning, but also for your score than just panicking and clicking something wildly.
I would say I think it's important to not just memorize the pictures, but to actually really go through it and understand what are the different traits of the cells, and that will help you most in applying that to the laboratory.
Yeah, and the cells that I either got wrong or took me the longest amount of time, I would go into the app and read like the description that was written about that cell, listing like the characteristics specific to that cell, and then taking one more look at the pictures and like being able to actually see the written characteristics, and then going back and trying it again.
That's a very good point. So for anyone who's watching who doesn't know anything about the app, when you go into the tutorial section, you can go through, it gives you descriptions about the different cells that they're going to ask you about, which is all the ones of the maturation. And then it also gives you example pictures that show and explain what is written there in the description. So that's a very good point. You all are saying some really great things. It's a lot of stuff that I tell my students as well. I would assume your faculty have been reiterating those sentiments to you as well. So you're a great reflection of an amazing program. Do you have anything to add for faculty? Any program directors or faculty that may be on the fence about joining in the event maybe next year, or how to help your students succeed when you're in the event?
Yeah, I think regardless of the scores that they obtained, it's really a great educational opportunity. As you heard many of the students say that, they were learning about things before we even covered them in class. And once we covered those in class, and it became easier to absorb or to understand things we were talking about because they had already learned about some of those things independently when outside of class. So I really think it's a great educational opportunity. And that was my main goal for even starting this before enrolling in the Cell Bowl, was just to get them comfortable with the digital platform and to help them learn things when they weren't in the class learning things. So I think it's a great opportunity. And again, given the fact that students tend to be a little bit more involved if you give them a little bit of a reward associated with it. The fact that I gave them a lab quiz for submission of a CellAvision score kind of got the ball rolling. And then, like Lakshmi was saying, then it was like, well, I want more than a perfect score. Now I want 55 seconds. Now I want 50 seconds. So then it kind of snowballed from there and turned into what it turned into. So, but yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for all program directors if you can work it into your curriculum. Certainly it's fun for the students, and you know, kind of breaks up some of the intense grind that happens during this program with all of the knowledge we try to throw at them in a short period of time. And it gives them a little bit of an avenue of stress relief, and again, stress relief, but a different kind of stress. But when it's in an app, in a game, it's a stress that they don't really see as much as, oh, study for this or study for that.
Right. Just like the gentleman up front was saying, you know, we were kind of just chilling in class, taking it to just to, you know, do something different. I like that. Our students take it at the beginning of class. I just tell them, all right, go ahead, cell bowl. And they do it in class in front of each other. And I'm just getting things ready up front, and then they submit their scores and stuff. But they're able to play it at home too. Is there anything that you all would like to say, or some feedback you would like to give to ASCP or CellAvision? Sorry, the CellAtlas app makers. Anything you would like to add out there? We didn't pick that up. What?
I personally think that it would be very helpful if there were a practice mode without a timer, because especially at the beginning when I didn't know what a monocyte was, getting everything wrong immediately, and the timer drop down was very, very stressful. I think having a practice mode and a time mode might be nice, just to ease you into it a little bit. I'm also very competitive with myself, and watching myself fail was very stressful.
I would want a different picture of a megakaryocyte. That one was like ingrained in my brain. But yeah, definitely just one more picture would be fine.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you for your feedback.
One of my former students actually works for CellAvision, so I can certainly contact him and let him know to beef up the images a little bit.
So I don't know if you already know this, but there is, for all educational programs, program directors can get access for free to CellAvision's educational platform, where you can make different cases that you want your students to complete using images from their whole entire bank. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. Every educational program gets it for free. That is an offer that you can talk about at CLEC. If you go to the Clinical Laboratory Educators Conference offered by ASCLS every year. So if you are an educator out there, part of a medical laboratory science or medical laboratory technology program, definitely take advantage of that. CellAvision is willing to work with you. It's at no charge to you. It's to help improve hematology diagnostics all around the world. So thank you so much for that. And hello, other faculty member. We're so happy you came on today. I hear you're super competitive. Did you do any cell bowling on your own?
I attempted it several times on my own. I didn't do bad, but I did not do as fast as well as them.
Yes, we have definitely put that out there that us educators and professionals are nowhere near the students at all.
Yep.
That was very well established.
You're
not alone.
I will get there.
That's how I feel. Little by little. Get there. Maybe
That's
not
right.
but
yeah, they have some great advice. It is you against you, setting small goals, small achievable goals. What is the next thing I can do? And you can do that in your career. You can do that in your personal life. That is a great a great method to do better. So you all are just amazing. So proud of you. So thank you so much for everybody watching. We are going to end this episode now. Our first live stream that actually worked. Yay! So yes, that is a big deal. We are so thankful you came in. We're thankful for all of the teams that have played in this second Cell Bowl season. We hope to see you on the Cell Bowl field next year as well. We're going to make everything even bigger and better even next year, if that's even possible. We just keep getting better. And make sure you check out the website. The website has all the stats every week. And check out each season. Each season will be different with the tutorials and the information we are covering, even with updates to the ASCP hematology exam portions, whether it's a specialist in hematology or MLT and MLS, doesn't matter. We update that in our tutorials every season when it gets updated as well on the ASCP website. Make sure that you check out and heed all of those techniques and that information that the students and faculty have provided. It's coming from experience and they know what they're talking about. They're doing so wonderfully. We're so proud of all of you. Thank you again for rocking season 2 and your certificates and your the trophy and the packages are in process. So I have already connected your program director with ASCP to get that whole process started. So look forward to that. You might have a wonderful holiday season in more ways than you expected. So I hope that you all take your ASCP exam and do amazing, like I know you will, at least in the hematology portion. Make sure that you use that prize package for all it's worth. Practice as many times as you can. And I will send all of that feedback also back to CellAvision so that they can help improve the app for next year's Cell Bowl. So thank you all. Are there any last words from anyone? Okay, so before we end, we're going to do a quick screenshot selfie. All right, so we can do a fun picture and a serious picture. Okay, so the first one will be of us just having a good time. All right, so fun picture, ready, set. Come on, think about what you're gonna do. All right, ready, set, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's see how that turned out real quick before we end, because I want to make sure I got it. All right, let's see.
Don't tell me.
All right, it didn't go through. We get to practice one more time. Okay. Ready, set, funny faces. All right, good. All right, that was a good one. Okay, and I'm gonna save it real quick. All right, so last one. This is, you can have a group photo where you all stand together, have some camaraderie if you'd like.
This is I'll stand forever. Oh, I gotta go back.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Yes,
stand
stay
back
there,
here.
Lauren.
I'll just stay here.
We're still live, guys.
Oh,
So, keep having a good time, but you know, we're live.
I'm sorry.
All right. Ruth is coming back in.
There she is.
She's rearranging. She's our artistic eye. All right. Ready, set, everybody smile. All right. Thank you all so much. That was wonderful. I got it. All right. So looking at the chat, we did not have anybody come in, which we kind of figured since it was early in the morning. I didn't get to amplify it enough, but we're so happy to have you. And thank you. Congratulations. You're amazing. All right. We'll talk to you next time, maybe even for next year's winning episode. So congratulations. Look forward to seeing you later.
Congratulations.
Bye.